Today we are looking at part 2 of creation versus evolution. We will be looking at one of the reasons creationism matters. I'm Mrs. Calhoun, and this is Calhoun Corner. In my last lecture, we discussed the 3 theories on the origin of life, or we could even call it the origin of man. We looked at the evolutionary tree of life, which humans were between a monkey and a chimp. In other words, humans were not special on that tree. The Bible, however, tells a different story. God creates the world specifically for human beings. He even makes them in his likeness, which is in Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, which tells the story that humans are special. They are a unique creation with an intellect and free will. So what is significant about when God creates human beings? Let's think about that. I want to suggest that evolutionary theory has become so prevalent in the world because the devil wishes to diminish our understanding of how special we are. If we are not special, what is the value of our lives? Jesus said we are worth living and dying for. Evolutionary theory says that we are no different than any animal. If it has little evidence, why is evolution the prevailing theory? Think about that. One of the key players in pushing evolution into society has been the Freemasons. The Freemasons are a secret society with Luciferian views. Now, Luciferian is not the same as Satanism, which is the worship of Satan. Luciferianism is a worship of oneself, and we do see that all over the place today. According to some documentation, the Freemasons pushed evolution on the public to control people. Charles Lyell, Charles Darwin, and James Hutton, all promoters of evolution, were connected to the Freemasons. So though this is a secret society and it's not always easy to access their agenda, we can make some logical conclusions about evolution and the promulgation of this theory. But we also need to ask, how can you control people with evolution? It goes back to what I said earlier about the unique nature of human life. If you remove that unique nature, then you and I are subject to the same fate as animals. Consider this quote from The Descent of Man, written by Charles Darwin in 1871. With savages, the weak in body or mind are soon eliminated, and those that survive commonly exhibit a vigorous state of health. We civilized men, on the other hand, do our utmost to check the process of elimination. We build asylums for the imbecile, the maimed, and the sick. We institute poor laws, and our medical men exert their utmost skill to save the life of everyone to the last moment. Thus, the weak members of civilized societies propagate their kind. No one who has attended to the breeding of domestic animals will doubt that this must be highly injurious to the race of man. Darwin is chastising his society for taking care of anyone that is weaker than the rest of the group. And weak does not mean just physically. He clarifies it by saying the imbecile, that would be anyone lacking intelligence or a mental weakness, the poor, who are the financial weak. Darwin compares a marital union with the breeding of domesticated animals, in which the owner of the animals can pair a male and female with a particular trait to get a particular trait. Whilst looking at humans, however, he noted that even those with less attractive features can get married and procreate. He considered this problematic. Adolf Hitler had a similar concern, as he emphasized a superior race and extermination of anyone who would hinder that regard. He took the belief of eliminating weakness much further than most did, and he controlled Germany for many years with that philosophy. Similarly, other communist regimes have turned towards evolution as a propaganda piece for their causes. It was the communists that attempted to get rid of the 7-day week, which would eliminate the day of rest, commanded by God, and reduced the amount of time families could spend together. The communists promoted daycares, which further pulled families apart. They pushed women into the workforce, which further pulled families apart. All these things stem from a belief in evolution, in the devaluing of human life. In the comments below, write something that you can do to promote a culture of life. Now, as always, if this is helpful, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. God bless.